Welcome back to Multiverse of Anime, where we explore the most mind-bending what-if scenarios in anime history. Today we're diving into one of the most terrifying possibilities in Dragon Ball. What if Goku and Frieza were forced to fuse? If this video blows your mind, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more insane anime theories, and drop a comment telling me which fusion scenario you want to see next. Trust me, this story will change how you see both characters forever. In all the timelines across the multiverse, there exists one possibility so terrifying that even the gods themselves pray it never comes to pass. A fusion between the purest heart and the most corrupted soul, between Earth's greatest protector and the universe's most notorious tyrant. This is that story. The Tournament of Power arena stretches endlessly before the final three warriors of Universe 7. But this Tournament of Power is different. In this timeline, Jiren possesses power that transcends mortal understanding. The gray alien stands motionless at the center of the arena, having eliminated warrior after warrior with nothing more than a glance. Universe after universe has fallen to his overwhelming might. Goku stands bloodied but determined, his orange gi torn and stained. He's already pushed beyond Ultra Instinct Sign, beyond every limit he thought existed, and it still wasn't enough. Beside him, Vegeta breathes heavily, pride cracking under the weight of absolute defeat. And behind them both, Frieza hovers with that perpetual smirk, but for the first time in his life, genuine fear flickers in those crimson eyes. Vegeta, we have to work together on this one, Goku says, powering up to Super Saiyan Blue one more time. His azure aura flickers like a dying flame. The Saiyan Prince scoffs, wiping blood from his mouth. Don't insult me, Kakarot. I can handle this overgrown meditation enthusiast myself. But even as Vegeta transforms, even as his own blue aura joins Goku's, they both know the truth, separately. They're insects. Together, they might buy a few more seconds before the inevitable erasure of everything they've ever loved. Jiren turns his attention to them, and in that moment, both Saiyans feel something they haven't experienced in years. True, paralyzing terror. This isn't like their battles with Cell or Majin Buu where they could sense some ceiling to their enemy's power. Jiren feels infinite, like staring into the abyss of space itself. How fascinating, Frieza's voice cuts through their despair with its usual silken venom. The mighty Saiyan warriors reduced to trembling children. Shut up, Frieza, Goku snaps, but there's no real anger in it, just the hollow sound of a man watching his universe die. Oh, but I'm not mocking you, monkey. I'm simply stating the obvious. You cannot win. I cannot win. Separately, we are all mere dust before this gray mountain of muscle and meditation. Vegeta's fists clench until his knuckles crack. Get to the point, you bastard. Frieza descends to their level, his golden form gleaming under the arena's dying light. Around them, the shattered remains tell the story of battles already lost, of universes already erased from existence. The point, my dear prince, is that I have no intention of being erased, and neither, I expect, do you. His tail swishes as he speaks, the only sign of his inner turmoil. There is a way, a method that ensures our survival, though it requires trust that goes against every instinct we possess. Goku's eyes widen as understanding dawns like a nightmare. You don't mean fusion, yes, but not the ridiculous dance you performed with Vegeta. Something more permanent, more powerful. From the debris of a destroyed platform, something glints in the dying light. Potara earrings, dropped by a supreme Kai from one of the erased universes. The ultimate fusion method, the one that creates a being greater than the sum of its parts. Are you completely insane? Vegeta's voice cracks with disbelief. Fuse with him? I'd rather be erased. But Goku stares at those earrings, his mind racing through possibilities and consequences. He thinks of Chi-Chi's gentle smile, of Gohan's unwavering determination, of Goten's infectious laughter. He thinks of Earth, of all the innocent people who will simply vanish if he fails here. Every person who ever believed in him, trusted him to protect them. Frieza, Goku says slowly, his voice carrying the weight of worlds, if we do this, you have to promise me something. The tyrant's eyebrow raises with interest.
Huh?
The great son Goku wishes to negotiate. Promise me we'll save Universe 7, that we'll protect everyone, that you won't use this power for evil. For a moment, Frieza's mask of cruel amusement slips completely. Behind that perpetual smirk, Goku glimpses something unexpected. Raw, primal terror at the prospect of simply ceasing to exist. When Frieza speaks again, his voice carries a gravity that Goku has never heard before. I promise you this, Saiyan. I will do whatever it takes to ensure our universe survives. Whether that aligns with your narrow definition of good and evil is irrelevant. Survival trumps morality. It's not the answer Goku wanted, but it's the only one he's gonna get. Jiren begins walking toward them, having grown bored with their conversation. Each step sends tremors through what remains of the arena. In seconds, he'll be within striking distance, and then everything ends. Goku reaches for one of the Potara earrings. The small piece of jewelry feels heavier than planets in his palm. This is madness, Vegeta whispers, but even he knows there's no other choice. Frieza stares at the remaining earring for a long moment. His golden aura flickers as doubt wars with desperation in those alien features. Then his expression hardens into cold determination. Very well, monkey. Let us see what hell we can unleash together. He takes the earring, and for just an instant, their eyes meet across the space between them. In that moment, Goku sees past the cruelty and malice to something deeper, something almost recognizable. They are both warriors. They both refuse to surrender, and they both will sacrifice anything to protect what matters to them, even if their definitions of protection couldn't be more different. Goku clips the earring to his left ear. Frieza clips his to the right. The transformation begins immediately. Light erupts from both warriors as their bodies dissolve into pure energy. But this isn't the harmonious glow of previous fusions. This light screams, reality itself seeming to protest as two absolutely incompatible forces attempt to become one. Light and darkness, compassion and cruelty, protection and domination, all colliding in a maelstrom that makes the very fabric of space tremble. Jiren stops his advance, his usually stoic expression shifting to something approaching genuine concern. From the chaos of warring energies, a new form begins to emerge, taller than either original, with Goku's familiar spiky hair now touched with streaks of white and silver. The build is unmistakably Saiyan, but Frieza's bio-armor segments have integrated seamlessly into the fusion's form like living metal. Most disturbing of all are the eyes. They shift constantly between Goku's warm black and Frieza's cold crimson, as if two souls are locked in eternal battle behind a single face. The fusion opens its mouth to speak, and the voice that emerges is a layered harmony of both warriors, beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. We are... The voice falters, confusion rippling across cursors that can't decide what they want to be. What are we? The newly born being stares at its hands, watching energy crackle between fingers that belong to both a hero and a monster. Jiren tilts his head, studying this new opponent with the first hint of uncertainty he's shown in the entire tournament. You are an abomination, the Pride Trooper states flatly. A violation of the natural order. The fusion's eyes snap to Jiren, and for a moment they burn with pure Saiyan rage. Natural order? The voice carries Goku's righteous indignation. You speak of natural order while threatening to erase innocent lives? But then something shifts. The expression becomes cold, calculating, predatory. Though I suppose it matters little what we are called. Now it's Frieza's silken malice that dominates. What matters is that you will fall before our power. Without warning, the fusion vanishes from sight. Not the blur of incredible speed that even Jiren could track, but genuine instantaneous movement that transcends physical limitations. When it reappears directly in front of the gray alien, one fist is already buried deep in Jiren's abdomen. The Pride Trooper's eyes widen in shock as he's launched backward across the arena, crashing through what remains of the floating platforms. For the first time in the tournament, Jiren has been moved against his will. Impossible, he gasps, rising from the rubble. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth. No mortal possesses such power. The fusion floats above him, arms crossed, and when it speaks again, the voice carries an arrogance that makes even Frieza's usual smugness seem humble. Mortal? How quaint! We are beyond such classifications now. Jiren powers up to his maximum, the entire arena trembling under the force of his energy. His gray aura explodes outward like a dying star, reality itself seeming to buckle under the pressure. This is the power that overwhelmed Ultra Instinct Goku, the strength that made gods tremble. The fusion watches with mild interest, as one might observe a child's tantrum. Is that all? The question carries both Goku's disappointment and Frieza's mockery. How harrowingly underwhelming. What follows isn't a battle, it's a demonstration. The fusion moves through Jiren's attacks like they're standing still, each dodge performed with casual elegance. When it counterattacks, the strikes land with surgical precision, targeting pressure points that shouldn't exist on Jiren's alien physiology but somehow do. This isn't just Goku's martial arts mastery or Frieza's cunning in isolation. It's something far more dangerous, perfect technique enhanced by perfect cruelty. You fight to protect, the fusion says, landing a devastating blow to Jiren's ribs. We fight to dominate. Another strike. This one aimed at Jiren's spine. You seek justice. The voice shifts to pure Frieza now. We are justice. Jiren struggles to his feet, pride and determination warring with the growing realization that he's completely outmatched. I cannot allow this universe to survive with such a monster. The fusion's expression becomes genuinely puzzled. Monster, we saved our universe. We protected our loved ones. Now it's Goku's voice, confused and hurt. Isn't that what heroes do? But as the words leave its mouth, the fusion's free hand casually extends toward the fallen Pride Trooper. A death beam, razor-thin and precisely aimed, pierces through Jiren's shoulder. The technique is unmistakably Frieza's, but executed with Goku's flawless accuracy. And here's what makes everyone watching freeze in horror. The fusion smiles as it does it. Not Goku's innocent joy in a good fight, but something hungry and satisfied, like a predator finally cornering its prey. The difference between us, Jiren, the fusion says, its voice now a perfect blend of both personalities, is that we enjoy this. Jiren collapses, his massive frame finally giving in to injuries that should have been impossible to inflict. The strongest mortal in the multiverse defeated not just in body but in spirit, as he realizes what this fusion truly represents. The fusion turns away from its fallen opponent, no longer interested in something so thoroughly broken. Around the arena, few remaining spectators, gods, angels, the Omni Kings themselves, watch in stunned silence. Universe 7 has won, but as the fusion's power continues to grow, as its aura shifts between gold and blue and something entirely new, a terrible question echoes in every divine mind present. What have they unleashed upon existence itself? The Tournament of Power ends not with celebration, but with an uncomfortable silence that stretches across divine realms. The Grand Priest announces Universe 7's victory with less enthusiasm than usual, while the Omni Kings exchange glances that suggest even they might be concerned. When the universes are restored and the fighters return to their homes, there's no joyous reunion waiting on Earth. Instead, there's a sense of wrongness that permeates the air itself, like the moment before a terrible storm breaks. The fusion materializes in the middle of West City, its arrival announced by a tremor that rattles windows for miles. Bulma's birthday party was supposed to resume here, a celebration that feels hollow now. The Z fighters gather quickly. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, Tien, even Master Roshi. They sense the incredible power, but something else troubles them. Something in the energy signature feels... Chi-Chi runs forward first, tears streaming down her face. Goku, thank goodness you're safe. When we felt that strange energy, I thought. She reaches for an embrace that should feel like coming home. The fusion looks down at her, and for a moment, its expression is pure Goku, warm, loving, relieved. Chi-Chi, I'm sorry I worried you. I'm here now, and I'm never gonna let anything happen to our family again. She melts into his arms, but the embrace feels different. Stronger, yes, but also somehow distant. When the fusion speaks again, something has changed in its voice. In fact, I've realized something important during this tournament. I've been too passive in protecting what matters, too willing to let threats grow until they become unstoppable. The warmth is still there, but underneath it lurks something colder. That changes now. Gohan steps forward, his scholar's instincts picking up on the subtle wrongness before anyone else. Dad, what do you mean by that? You saved everyone. The tournament is over. The fusion turns to its eldest son, and Gohan takes an involuntary step backward. The eyes that look at him shift between familiar warmth and alien calculation with each blink. The tournament was just the beginning, my son. Do you know what I learned fighting alongside our universe's greatest enemy? The fusion's voice carries both Goku's pride and Frieza's condescension. I learned that sometimes to truly protect something, you must be willing to control it completely. Piccolo's antennae twitch with alarm. In all his years knowing Goku, he's never heard the Saiyans speak about control. Protection, yes. Sacrifice, absolutely, but never control. Goku, Piccolo says carefully, where's Frieza? I can sense his energy, but I don't see him anywhere. The fusion smile is Goku's, but there's something behind it that makes everyone present deeply uncomfortable. Oh, Frieza's here, Piccolo. He's just learning to see things from a different perspective, just like I am. Vegeta arrives with his usual dramatic flair, but stops short when he sees the fusion. His Saiyan instincts, honed by decades of rivalry and battle, immediately recognize that something is fundamentally wrong. Kakarot, he says slowly. What have you done? I've done what was necessary, the fusion replies, and now there's no mistaking the cold edge in its voice. I've become perfect. I've transcended the weaknesses that held me back, the hesitation, the mercy, the foolish belief that everyone deserves a second chance. The fusion rises slightly off the ground, its mixed aura casting strange shadows across the assembled heroes. I've realized that Earth's greatest weakness isn't external threats, it's inefficiency, chaos, the inability to make the hard choices that true protection requires. Chi-Chi looks up at her husband's face, searching for the man she married. Goku, you're scaring me? This doesn't sound like you, doesn't it? The fusion's expression softens, becoming purely Goku for a moment. Chi-Chi, I love you more than life itself. That's exactly why I can't let this world continue to stumble toward its own destruction. I have the power to fix everything now, to make Earth truly safe. But then the expression shifts again, becoming something calculating and cold, and I have the wisdom to know that sometimes safety requires sacrifice. Order requires control. Gohan's hands begin to tremble as the implications hit him. Dad, what are you planning to do? The fusion looks at each of them in turn, his family, his friends, his former enemies who became allies. In its eyes, they see both infinite love and infinite arrogance. I'm going to save this world, it says with absolute certainty, whether it wants to be saved or not. The celebration has become a wake, and no one yet realizes they're mourning not just Goku, but potentially the theorem of every living being on Earth. 3 days pass, and the world begins to understand what the fusion meant by salvation. It starts small, almost reasonable. Crime rates in major cities drop to zero overnight. Not because criminals are arrested or reformed, but because they simply vanish. When reporters investigate, they find only scorch marks where bodies should be. The telltale signs of death beams fired with surgical precision. I told you, the Fusion explains to a horrified news crew, its voice carrying Goku's earnest sincerity. I'm protecting this world. These people were hurting innocents. Now they can't hurt anyone ever again. The reporter, trembling but determined, asks the question everyone's thinking. But what about justice? Due process? The right to redemption? The Fusion's expression shifts, becoming cold and calculating. Justice? Now it's purely Frieza's voice, silk wrapped around steel. I am justice. I am the only justice this world needs. Inside the Fusion's mind, an internal argument rages. Goku's consciousness fights desperately against the tide of Frieza's logic, but with each passing hour he's losing ground. Look how peaceful they are now, Frieza's voice echoes in their shared mental space. Look how efficiently we've solved problems that plagued this world for centuries. Isn't this what you always wanted, Saiyan? A world where the innocent are truly safe. This isn't protection, Goku's voice grows weaker, more strained. This is fear. People should be free to choose, even if they choose wrong sometimes. And when their wrong choices lead to suffering, when their freedom costs innocent lives. Frieza's argument is seductive, wrapped in concern that feels almost genuine. We have the power to prevent all of that. Isn't it selfish to withhold such a gift? The debate might continue forever, but external events force the Fusion's hand. Vegeta arrives at what used to be the site of a notorious gang hideout, now nothing but a crater. His face is a mask of cold fury as he powers up to Super Saiyan Blue, his royal aura crackling with determination and desperate fear. Kakarot, he shouts to the sky, get down here, we're ending this now. The Fusion descends slowly, almost gently, like a god granting audience to a mortal. Vegeta, I was wondering when you'd work up the courage to confront me. Courage? Vegeta's laugh is bitter and harsh. You think I need courage to face a monster wearing my rival's face? Monster? The Fusion's expression becomes genuinely puzzled, shifting back to Goku's confused innocence. Vegeta, I don't understand. I'm saving people. I'm making the world safe for our families, for our children. By becoming exactly what we've fought against our entire lives. Vegeta's energy explodes outward, but even at his maximum power, he feels insignificant compared to the being before him. You've become a tyrant, Kakarot. You've become everything Frieza ever was. The Fusion's face hardens, and when it speaks, both voices blend into something new. Something that carries Goku's determination and Frieza's absolute certainty. If being a tyrant means ensuring that Chi-Chi never has to fear for her safety, that Gohan can raise his daughter in a world without crime, that innocents never suffer while we debate the philosophical merits of freedom versus security, the Fusion's power begins to rise, reality itself seeming to bend around its form. Then I will be the perfect tyrant this world has ever seen. Vegeta charges anyway, because that's what Saiyans do when faced with the impossible. His fists meet the Fusion's casual blocks, and in that moment of contact, he feels the truth of what they're facing. This isn't just Goku corrupted by Frieza's influence, this is something new, something that believes with absolute certainty that it knows what's best for everyone. And that certainty, that unwavering conviction wrapped in infinite power, might be the most terrifying force the universe has ever known. The battle lasts exactly 3 seconds. When Vegeta falls, unconscious but alive, the Fusion looks down at him with something approaching pity. Don't worry, my prince, it says softly. When you wake up, you'll understand. Everyone will understand, eventually. The Fusion turns its gaze skyward, toward the stars, toward other worlds that might also need salvation. After all, it whispers, perfection should be shared. So there you have it, the most terrifying fusion in Dragon Ball history. This is why some powers should never be combined. Goku's pure heart couldn't overcome Frieza's corruption when their very souls were merged into one being. What did you think of this nightmare scenario? Was there any way to stop this fusion once it was created? Drop a comment with your thoughts, and tell me which impossible fusion you want to see next. Maybe Vegeta and Cell, or Gohan and Majin Buu. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you chills, subscribe for more mind-bending anime theories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest explorations into the multiverse. Until next time, keep questioning what if, and remember, in the infinite possibilities of anime, even heroes can become the very monsters they swore to destroy. Thanks for watching Multiverse of Anime, and I'll see you in the next dimension.